Good day, everybody. I'm really sorry that I can't be there with you at the wonderful Monaco Yacht Club, but please accept my remarks, and I look forward to visiting with anyone that would like to follow up on this topic. Today, I'm going to talk about how we can link the nature and brain economies toward a sustainable and productive future. I myself represent the global brain economy movement and work closely with the Euro-Mediterranean Economist Association, run the Brain Capital Alliance, and have professorial positions at Rice University and the University of Texas Medical Branch. So the first thing I want to talk about to provide context on the brain economy is that we have major brain power challenges. The cost of mental, neurological, and substance use disorders across the lifespan is vast. It costs the global economy $3.5 trillion a year, and that cost is rising at about 3% a year. And this is the cost of healthcare costs and lost productivity. So this is very significant, and of course, it's projected to increase into the future. So as our brains are more important than ever in this age of artificial intelligence, they're challenged more than ever as well. So there's a disconnect here that something needs to change. As I said, we need our brains more than ever in the age of artificial intelligence. Data from the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report suggests that core skills needed in 2025 are very intensive: analytical thinking, resilience, creative thinking are in the top four. So again, we need our brains more than ever. And a business person said to me, our brains are in the red right when we need them in the black. I think that's a very good distillation of what we're dealing with. And so how are we going to get to a position where we can unlock the brain power that we need to be successful in the world of work and to be successful in co-piloting with artificial intelligence? Well, the brain economy's proposal is that we need to determine that brain capital is an asset that includes the health and the skills of the brain, and brain capital is being challenged, and we need to transition from a brain negative position to a brain positive or brain healthy position. And so you know that that is analogous to the natural capital movement, where we're transitioning ideally from a nature negative economy to a nature positive economy. So the brain economy was written up this year and proposed as the new thing. It's the idea that communities, societies, and countries contribute to their economic growth and stability through collective brain power. And it's described as a new thing. And in the coming months, governments and companies are likely to hear a lot more about the brain economy. And so I'm glad that you're hearing about it today. I would say that the brain economy is more than an idea now. We have worked very intensively in the last 5 years with major economists and major organizations around economic transitions. It is an economic transition, and we have a plan and a roadmap to move it forward. McKinsey and the World Economic Forum have broken down the brain economy into 5 different components. They're focused on safeguarding brain health, which is innovations relevant to healthcare and public health; fostering brain skills, which is around education and workforce and upskilling, reskilling; research around brain capital is very important; measuring, modeling, investing is very important. And I'm glad to see that BNP Paribas is there today with you all to help us think through investment innovations. And then, of course, mobilizing for brain capital or coordinating across stakeholders, because the brain economy is an economy-wide issue. We need food systems, we need climate systems, we need to think about education, healthcare, digital. All these things are important if we're going to flip our economy from brain negative to brain positive. We do have a research strategy that we are developing. As I mentioned, we have a paper coming out on this, and with about 50 esteemed researchers from around the world. We're thinking about measurement of brain capital, we're thinking about modeling brain capital, and we're thinking about the latest interventions, from natural interventions to advanced neurotechnology interventions. So watch this space. We'll be sharing this publicly when it's available in the coming months. I think there are similarities between brain positive and nature positive economic transitions. These are strategic simplifications for pragmatic change. They're aimed at bridging science to public and private power structures. They're a defense against reductionism in a complex economy, in a complex society with complex science. They all are challenges in measurement. Measuring natural capital is as challenging as measuring brain capital. That means they're an opportunity for novel research, investment, and policy. And I would say that both of these things are reflexive and iterative. They're very humble. I personally get humbled every day with the brain economy work. There is emerging science linking nature and brain, and Agustin Ibanez will articulate this in more detail than me. There's a recent report about the impacts of air pollution on brain health. Agustin and I and others have written an article with RIM on One Health and brain health. And then Augustin will talk about a big exposome study that he recently published. Uh, Rim and I recently wrote with the T20 in the lead up to the G20 South Africa that leveraging brain and natural capital is a blueprint for a regenerative global economy. We said treating these two forms of capital in isolation ignores the reality that healthy brains need healthy environments and vice versa. And so you can look at that online. I would say join us in infusing natural capital into our brain economy policy activities. We do have Houston, Texas as the first city in the world going through a brain economy transition. So join us in thinking about how to infuse natural capital there. We recently executed some wonderful programming and activities at the G7 in Canada, and now we're working on G7 France, which is in your backyard. So help us think through that and reach out. And then help us also think through sector-specific engagements in the built environment, in venture capital, in energy, and in gambling in the crisis context. We're working in all of these areas. We're thinking also in activities with the G20. We have in Johannesburg, November 4th and 5th, a major brain economy activity with speakers from across Africa. And then we're engaging in different regions, including a Spanish brain plan being developed. And as I mentioned, G7 France. So I would say thanks for your attention. Thanks for your interest in this area. And join us as we also develop global coordination and coherence. We do have a wonderful global coordination strategy with McKinsey Health Institute, Milken Institute, and the High Lantern Group and the World Economic Forum. And we will be launching a Brain Economy Institute globally in the coming months. We also have this WEF Brain Economy Action Forum. And so in Davos, there will be a major brain economy report published in the Congress Center. And so I look forward to visiting with you in Davos. So just reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn. And thank you very much.